Hello, welcome to a very different video from me. This video is going to be a drawing video. Not that I'm a artist or anything like that, but this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while and I'm really excited and I'm very much looking forward to doing this. So this is going to be a little bit of a drawing video just to give you some nice relaxing sounds. And what I've got here is a book on how to draw, and this is something that I could use very much. And this is something that I found that my grandmother owned, and I really don't know how old it is, but if you wanted to have a look at that, $1. Just the font alone looks very old. There's a piece of sticky tape that's repairing a tear that goes through more than one page. There it is there. So this here is a book on how to draw. And I'm not sure how old it is, but it looks quite old. And amongst some of the items that my grandmother had were these, some old colour sketch pencils that have never been used for artists, architects or students, non-toxic. These here were Columbia colour sketch pencils in a variety of different colours: magenta, orange, yellow, red, violet, black, light green, light blue, dark brown, and carmine. I don't think I've ever seen that name used for a colour. Manufactured in Sydney, Australia. How rare it is to find something made in Australia. So let's open these up and have a little look. And here we go. Some lovely pencils made in Australia, which is quite rare these days to find anything made in your own home country. Okay, so these are some of the pencils that we've got, so we'll just bring those down there. Let's just have a look through this book on how to draw. It is not necessary to center the main object on the 1/3 mark. So here we go. So this is similar to photography, whereas you have the rule of 3. So you try and put objects of interest down these lines here. So for example, if you were looking at like a sunrise or a sunset, you might try and put the land line here and the sky would be up the top. I'm not a really good photographer, but I like to try and take photos. So it's not necessary to center the main object on the 1/3 mark, but it is alright if you wish to, although it greatly limits your work. Don't hold to any cut and dried rules. Think for yourself and apply what you learn for all sources. After you've placed your main object, all other objects, flowers in this case, become secondary and are placed so they add interest and background, but must not be made too large or prominent as to detract from your main object. So I'm guessing this here is a away, so we'll just focus on this one. So this is using the line of threes, and so they've put a little vase or flower decoration, and they've got the flowers going up this line here. So they have the vase going along this line and the flowers going up this line. So that's similar to a rule of photography. So this is very, very early style drawing. The composition of a picture consists of an artistic placement of objects. You consider their harmony, colour, proportion, light and darks. Above all, there must be a skillful union of all parts to produce a pleasing and unified whole image. So here's, wow, this here is a way to show you how to use pencils to get different effects, I'm guessing. Very, very old school this is. Flowers. Wow, not many people draw flowers anymore. I didn't think it was so technical to draw. I thought you just sort of started drawing. So we're just going to quickly look through this book and have a little bit of a look around, and then I'm going to attempt to bring a few sounds to the video of just pencils on paper. Wow, running writing. I know when I was at school we learnt running writing, but I'm guessing now that computers are such a big part of schoolwork now that running writing isn't really used as much anymore. I was always amazed at people's handwriting, and sometimes just the beauty of handwriting I find quite interesting. Like early style explorers, their writing would be like so neat and tidy. This here would be considered quite messy. So when you look at early explorers or people that drew maps, their handwriting was so beautiful, and that's something I've always been impressed by, is the neatness and the beauty of people's handwriting. That's something that I've never really been able to do very well. So I'm not going to try to attempt to draw any of these pictures. It's just amazing how you got to sort of lay out the drawing itself. I guess it's like a foundation. Without a good foundation, you can't have a good drawing. WTF. Wow, drawing handwriting all these different types of fonts. I guess when this was created, there was no such thing as computers, no such thing as a font on a computer. So this was art, sign writing, however much you would describe it. We'll see if we can find a date to see how old this is. So this is talking about Donald Horde is one of our most famous sculptors and is one of the very few that work direct in stone. This statue is made of diorite, a stone that rings like steel when you tap it. So it will be around several thousand years. Must be very, very hard. He's completed 2 statues in jade, weighing between 140 and 160 pounds. At the price of jade, $40 per pound back then. I will not suggest that you get a hunk and start hacking, as you would need a diamond set circle saw to cut the stone. This may have been made in America, this book. And here we come to the end. How to Draw Funnies by Walter Foster. Walter T. Foster. Here we go. A list of the Walter T. Foster How to Draw books. 32 to 40 pages per book. So they're all $1 each. Foster Art Services, Laguna Beach, California. Lithographed in USA. This is what you call the good old days. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a nostalgic look at what things may have been like 30 or 40 years ago. I can't say how old this book is, but at a guess I would be saying between 30 to 40 years. So it's probably been in my grandmother's possession for that time. She was known to buy things like this and hold on to them for quite a lengthy amount of time. So here we have a box of pencils completely unused. Completely unused, waiting for me to take them out of the box to create a video for you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this book off. And we're going to bring this into view. So we have a black pencil, and what I thought I'd try and do is I really want to try and sketch up an idea for Everquest Next to create something unique. And my idea is I wanted to create a location in the game where people could go for two things. One, to actually be relaxed and help them go to sleep. And two, to provide a location like a crafting hall, so when people are looking to get an object made, it'd be almost like a shopping centre where you could walk down and hopefully you could find like a tailor or a weaponsmith or an armour smith or a woodworker that's working and available to take an order. And this is part of the social interaction in the game itself. And I've always enjoyed the part of the game where you could have a crafter that's crafting an object for you. And part of the experience that I want to bring to people is, this is in connection with ASMR, is that when they go to someone, they can have some type of social interaction with the real person, and some people may feel an ASMR reaction from interacting with people in a certain way. So it's definitely nothing that's guaranteed. But I remember one of my experiences of ASMR that really opened my eyes was when I was in game and someone was inspecting me on a dock, looking at my armor and items and giving me suggestions on what I could do to improve my stats and things like that. And I got a great ASMR response from that. So I want to try and bring an environment that can give people a relaxed environment, if they're lucky, get ASMR, and also to provide a location for crafters to craft. So my idea was, you don't want to get too complicated. So I was going to try and keep it simple. So we'll start off with something like, this will be interesting. Yeah. Yellow brick road, hey? So just remember, please. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in the camera, because the camera looks to me it's having a little bit of a hard time seeing what I'm drawing because of all the white. Here we go. see if that helps a little bit. I'll try and get a bit more colour in there. Okay. Yeah, I want some orange, I think. Try and give it a bit of an outline. I'm just going to use a bit of pencil just to see if I can get a little bit of colour. This is definitely interesting. This is fun. Come on, drawing is something that, as a kid, everyone must have drawn a little bit. So hopefully you can see that a little bit now. It looks pretty crap now. Alright, so my idea would be to have some type of like fortress, castle, wall. You could even go as to having some type of fortress, castle, some type of location where people could go into, but my idea would be to have it probably bigger. bigger, much bigger. So imagine this, say 10 stories high, have it very big, and then you might have something so once you go inside, you basically open right up, so you have like a big hallway inside, and when you would go inside, like my imagination would be, is to try and have something very grand and large. So it's hard for me to draw and to visualize, but I have a few ideas, like something where you could have like ice and lava all mixed in together, even though that doesn't work, or like a crystal walls that reflect lots of light, something sort of special. So when you go inside, you get like a bit of a wow factor when you go inside. And then once you go inside, you would have I guess maybe like a central meeting area, and so, like for example, if this here is the entrance, so that entrance here would be basically just left open for like artwork, things to make you go wow. So when you go in there, and then I'm guessing that around the edges you'd have like stairs that go up, and you would have along here all of the different crafting stations. And in the center you would have to have like some type of thing here so that you can look around and you have like a little bit of a wow factor. And into this area you'd have maybe like a Zen garden. So you might have like trees. These are pretty rough trees. I'll zoom you out a little bit. And then what you might have is like a little bit of a creek. With maybe like a bridge going across. So what you'd have here is like a relaxing environment that has lots of like natural sounds like water running, birds in the trees, maybe some gentle breeze flowing. So this here would be like a little relaxation area. And then I think what would be a good idea would be to have like a entrance here, and then you'd have like a pathway, and then you'd have some like steps that might lead down into what I would want to be like the relaxing area. So here you've got all of the crafters. Here you'd have like a big centerpiece to give you that wow factor when you first come in there. Here you'd have your like a relaxing Zen garden with nice relaxing sounds and things like that. And then here you would have the entrance that would go down. So for example, here is the castle, inside is inside, and then what I'd want is underground, like as you go underground, that's when you could go into like a subterranean cavern that would lead you to another big open area similar to this that could have more relaxing environments that branch off into like for example tapping sounds, whispering sounds, crinkly sounds, all sorts of sounds, like a meditative area, things like that. So it's just something that popped into my head when I saw that Everquest was going to create a new game, and that they're going to release all of the tools that they use to create game content to the public to help them to create more of the game, which is a really smart move. By offloading some of the work to create game content, it will allow them to focus on other parts of the game. So let people like me create artwork and then use the tools to visually create it how you see it. And then all of the best content that people create, they'll put into the game. And I think that's a really, really good idea, a smart move. It creates interest for the game. It creates appreciation for the fans of the game to get involved and actually create something that will be part of the game. So not everyone's creation will get in there. There's a whole lot of work involved to try and create this, and then there's no guarantee they'll put it in there. But I was a fan of the first game, so this is just an idea I had, and if I have enough time or enough interest, I might have a go at trying to develop it myself, but we will see how it goes. So that there was my attempt at a drawing video. So I hope you enjoy these relaxing sounds and the sound of my voice, and I will see you again in the near future. Thank you very much.